Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy Bengaluru. This is the daily news analysis. Today, on 21st August 2025, we'll discuss some 5 to 6 important articles from mains, prelims, and interview perspective. So, the first article is about bills to oust arrested ministers, which created chaos in parliament. GS2, polity and governance, constitutional amendments, and federalism and separation of powers. We will just discuss the context and I will discuss briefly about these bills because I will be bringing topic of the video on these sub bills separately because these are very important bills. So, the context is the government introduced 3 bills in Lok Sabha to provide for removal of Prime Minister, Chief Minister, and ministers if they are arrested and kept in custody for 30 consecutive days or more for the offences punishable with 5 years of imprisonment or above. Obviously, you can see why this bill is controversial. Okay, so the 3 bills introduced were Government of Union Territories Amendment Bill 2025, Constitution 130th Amendment Bill 2025, and Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill 2025. And also, there is a joint committee of Parliament with 21 Lok Sabha and 10 Rajya Sabha members will examine and report by winter session 2025. We have to wait and see what will be the issue with respect to these particular bills. So, 3 bills I already discussed. So, the conditions for removals are if he is arrested and detained for 30 consecutive days on serious criminal charges, facing charges of offences punishable with imprisonment of 5 or more years. Next, removal of authority. Who is the removal authority? Here, President for Prime Minister and Union Minister and Governor for CM and State Ministers. Next, Lieutenant Governors with respect to Union Territories. So, additional provision is the legislation allows for possibility of reappointments once the detained Chief Minister or the Minister is released. Okay, so these are the provisions already discussed. 30 days without any bail, automatic removal from the office by President or Governor on the 31st day. Applies without conviction, that just mere arrest plus detention is sufficient. Then government justifies it as a measure to bring political morality and cleanse politics. So, okay, anyway, I'm not going to comment on this topic. We'll just stick to the content here. Next, the controversy and criticisms. Obviously, there will be controversies. That is, they say it violates constitutionality. That is, this provision violates Article 164 Clause 2 and collective responsibility principles. That is, ministers hold office at the pleasure of President or Governor, but through CM or PM and not directly. This new bill is bringing this pleasure of the President and Governor directly to President and Governor and not through CM and PM. That is why it is very controversial. And elected leaders can be removed without a trial, which undermines the very basic of due process, which is against the Article 21. Next, opponents call it anti-federal as center could misuse to target state chief ministers. Obviously, there are all the chances this can be misused by center against the state, irrespective of the government. Now, BJP is ruling or NDA is ruling, and there are different governments at different states. Like reverse the thing. If Congress or UPA government is ruling at the center and by BJP government is ruling at the states, obviously they are going to misuse these provisions. So, there is high scope for misuse, that is, mere registration of politically motivated cases may be enough to unseat opponents. Opposition leaders call it tool for vendetta politics. Then, political bobs in parliament. Heated exchanges that Amit Shah and K.C. Venugopal were the Shah's 2010 arrest. They said that you were arrested in 2010, so you should not be minister now because you should be removed by the president. And then Trinamool MPs tore copies of bills and uproar in house. Then opposition MPs Rahul Gandhi, OIC, Tewari, Stalin, Mamata called it a medieval times or Hitlerian assault. So you can see why this is so controversial. Then there are issues raised about federalism as well. States' autonomy weakened if governors can remove elected CMs on basis of arrest alone, seen as step towards centralization and police state. Next, supportive arguments from the government is that it increases political morality. Leaders facing serious criminal charges should not continue the office. They want to reduce criminalization of politics, but people believe this is not a removal of criminalization of politics, but just political vendetta. Then follows the principle of clean politics and upholds constitutional morality. Okay, okay. Then Amit Shah says that example of his own resignation in 2010 despite the false allegations. So Amit Shah said that I wanted to promote clean politics in India, so I resigned on my own when there was allegations in 2010. Though the allegations were baseless, I resigned from the office. So everyone should follow this one. If everyone is not going to follow this, that is why I brought this this law. Okay, fine. Next is Uttarakhand Assembly clears UCC anti-conversion and minority education amendments. Okay, so the relevance is fundamental rights versus directive principles, federalism, secularism. Okay, everything. The session highlights are monsoon session, like scheduled for 5 days, not necessary. There are 9 bills total passed. Of these important bills were Uniform Civil Code, Amendment Bill 2025, which was a major cause of concern throughout India. It extends marriage registration period from 6 months to 1 year, increases punishment for illegal live-in relationships as well. This is the aspect that made it very controversial. Then freedom of religion and prohibition of unlawful conversion bill 2025. The similar bill was there in Karnataka also, but it was repealed later. But the says that there is strict penalties, that is 3 years to life imprisonment for forced conversions, and earlier maximum was 10 years. Next, allurement broadly defined as gifts, jobs, invoking divine pleasures. If you are converting a person based on these allurements, then it is considered as unlawful conversion. Next is human trafficking threats or human trafficking or any other threats, that 20 years of life or to life imprisonment. Next is Minority Education Bill 2025. It extends minority status to institutions of Sikh, Jain, Christian, Parsi as well as Buddhist communities. Next, all madrasas must seek affiliation with Uttarakhand Education Board by July 2026 and then apply for minority status to state authority, and non-compliance, then your madrasa is going to be closed. Next, the other important were supplementary appropriation bill, not necessary for the UPSC perspective. The people who are preparing for Uttarakhand public service examination, they can go through this. Next, we will have a discussion about Uniform Civil Code. Why is this provision so controversial? Is there any constitutional backing for Uniform Civil Code? If you ask me, yes, there is a backing from the Constitution. That is, the Article 44 of the Directive Principles talks that state shall endeavor to secure a uniform civil code for all the citizens. Aim is to replace religious-based personal laws for marriage, divorce, and inheritance with a common set of secular civil laws. Like, be careful about this one. Uniform Civil Code, as the name suggests, it is only dealing with civil codes. Whereas in criminal code, we already have Uniform Criminal Code at the center. These criminal codes are now Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, CRPC, and IPC. All these are already there. But for civil codes, they want a common civil code now. Uttarakhand became first state in India to notify UCC in 2024. Now it is introducing amendments in 2025. Next, what is the significance of this Uttarakhand's Uniform Civil Code? It provides legal uniformity. That is, moves towards one law for marriage, divorce, inheritance, and live-in relationships. And women's rights, brings equal legal protection across all the communities and precedent for other states. That is, Goa has a partial UCC, Uttarakhand is the first to codify it fully, possible replication in all the BJP-led states. Okay, next is constitutional debate. It pits Article 14 of the DPSP against Article 25, that is the freedom of religion. However, there are certain criticisms of this Uniform Civil Code as well. The criticisms are, it raises federalism issue, that is, personal laws are on the concurrently overlapping jurisdiction of central and states. Minority rights seen as interference in cultural and religious freedom, especially Muslim inheritance and marriage rights, which is against right to freedom under Article 25. Then implementation challenges, that is, practical difficulties in registration of live-in relationships and inheritance disputes. and gender neutrality, that some argue provisions still reflect patriarchal assumptions. Okay, so despite these criticisms, Uttarakhand has moved forward and brought uniform civil code. We have to wait and see what the other states are going to do with respect to this, or we have to wait and see will there be a uniform civil code by the center of India. Okay, next. Third article, Lok Sabha clears banning real money gaming. A very important bill again. Important for GS2, GS3, economy, polity, etc. The key provisions are, the bans are offering, operating, facilitating, advertising, promoting, or participation in online money games such as fantasy sports, card games, betting platforms involving deposit and monetary returns. These are going to be banned. Next, the rationale here is it prevents suicides, addictions, fraud, and financial ruin caused by a real money gamings. It also aims to stop exploitation via algorithms and opaque practices. Institutional mechanisms. It is going to set up an authority for promoting esports, distinguishing from gambling, and esports is seen as creative and recreational with economic potential. The process is, it was passed in Lok Sabha by voice vote and no draft consultation release. Government argued prohibition law don't require consultation, and the government stand was, Speaker said it called it a good bill in national interest, and the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said real money gaming destroys families and savings, and political anonymity or unanimity across parties on the need for prohibition is required. And IT Secretary said industry wanted clarity in the regulation, and now the regulation or the clarity has been provided. However, there are certain criticisms or concerns as well. What are the concerns? It goes against constitutional mandate, that is under Article 19 1G, which provides freedom of trade and occupation may be cited by the industry against total ban. You are not you, the constitution has provided as the freedom to trade and occupation. So this gaming industry is us exercising this freedom of trade and occupation. This new ban is against this particular constitutional mandate. Next, legislative competencies. Gambling and betting fall under the state list of entry 34 list 2. So the union powers to regulate via IT Act and the online communication may face judicial scrutiny as it is against the federal structure of Indian constitution. Next, the economical impact. India's real money gaming industry is worth 20,000 plus crore and provides lots of jobs. A blanket ban may push activity underground or to illegal apps. Okay, so even if you are going to push away all these apps, even if you are going to ban all these apps, it is nothing but you are going to do it underground. This will become illegal. Again, that is a big hurdle as well. And also there is a consultation deficit because the bill was not released in a draft form. The stakeholders such as gaming companies and investors were excluded from lawmaking. So it is not consensus based bill. So these are the criticisms. Let us just see the provisions of this bill as well. Okay. So according to the bill, real money gaming refers to platforms such as Dream 11 and Pokerbazi, where players risk their money for winnings. So no more Dream 11 if this bill is passed and if this bill becomes act. Next, the industry has argued that fantasy games are those of skill and cannot be regulated by states as gambling. Next, the bill makes the distinction between games of chance and skill irrelevant as it seeks to ban all online money gaming. Before, the games in India, not just in India, most of the countries were differentiated based on game of skill and game of chance. So according to them, game of skill was where you are going to use your skills and not only relying on the chance or not only relying on your luck. According to previous provisions, all these Dream 11 fantasy games etc. were games of skill where you have to analyze the past players performances, past teams performances, and you are going to pick a new team as part of Dream 11 or part of football fantasy leagues. But now there was a distinction, and for gambling games such as Pokerbazi or gambling games such as not snooker, some other gambling names, I'm not able to recall the gambling names, all those are considered as games of chance and they were banned actually. But now this blanket ban on even the games of skill such as Dream 11 is making this debate irrelevant. If you're considering both as game of chance, then what is the use of making it different? What is the use of differentiating them between game of skills and game of chance? Next, the industry says it has annual revenues exceeding 31,000 crore and that it provides employment over 2 lakh people. Next, the punishment under the bill is the bill proposes imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 1 crore for entities offering or facilitating online gaming or money gaming. The bill also seeks to prohibit advertisement related to online money games and bars banks and financial institutions from transferring funds for any of such games. Next is advertising can attract imprisonment up to 2 years and or fine up to 50 lakhs. Facilitating financial transactions can lead to imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 1 crore. So we have to wait and see. Obviously, this is going to be a big issue because it is not only impacting the polity and governance, it is also impacting the economy and employment of lots of people. So we have to wait and see how this bill goes. Okay. Next, and the next article is about which talks about India's democracy and the migrant citizen. So there was an editorial in the Hindu which talks about how democracy failed Indian migrants. That is, the context is the special intensive revision of Bihar's electoral rolls led to deletion of 3.5 million migrant voters, which is almost 4.4% of all the voters of Bihar. Migrants marked as permanently migrated because they were absent during house-to-house verification. Threatens circular or seasonal migrants with permanent disenfranchisement at both origin as well as destination. Suppose there are certain workers who are from Bihar and who are working in Karnataka. There are many such workers are there. If they are seasonal in nature, that is, if they are going to work for 4 months in Karnataka and then go back to Bihar, now they are not present when the special intensive revision happened in Bihar, where they were not able to provide the documents. Now they are considered not as a voters of Bihar. And also, since they are only coming here for 4 months and then going back to Bihar again, they are not considered as a voter in Karnataka as well. So now they are citizens of India without any voting power, nor in origin, nor in destination. So that is what the context is. We'll discuss the arguments and the issues raised here. The first key issue raised here is sedentary bias of electoral system. That is, voter registration tied to fixed resident proof. Migrants often live in informal housing such as rented rooms, work sites, slums, etc., which makes it hard to show documents of their fixed residence. Next, exclusionary politics. Migrants are seen as outsiders in the host states. So it will result to fear of altered demographics and discourages enrollment at the destination. Normally, people coming from outside of the state to a particular state, the host states consider them as outsiders, and they don't want to give them voter rights because they do not want to change demography. Now, if they are already lost their voting right in their original state or origin states, now they are also not getting the rights to vote in their destination state as well. So that is the issue what is happening here. And also, it is leading to sub-nationalism, that is, domicile-based quotas, job reservation debates further narrows the space. Next, triple burden. Triple burden, TISS, ECI study of 2015. The triple burden are administrative barriers, that is, residence proof and verification, and digital illiteracy, that is, online voter systems inaccessible, and then social exclusion, that is, treated as outsiders, and political apathy. So this triple burden is resulting in disenfranchisement of migrant workers. And then turnout deficit, that is, Bihar turnout in the last assembly poll was only 53.2%, which is lowest among the major states. And in Gujarat it is 64%, and in Karnataka 70.7%, which is lower migration states. Next, the scale of migration is 7 million circular migrants annually from Bihar, that is 2.7 million return during the festivals. Many will miss voting in 2025 assembly polls due to these elections and due to this SIR. Next, parallels with ONORC scheme, that is one nation, one one ration card scheme. Limited portability, that is only 3.3 lakh Bihar households are using it outside the state. Migrants retain origin-based ration card and voter IDs because there is a fear of losing entitlements. And then gender and border concerns. That is, India-Nepal is open border, So cross-border marriages and economic ties face disenfranchisement due to rigid documentation norms as well. And finally, women migrants are disproportionately impacted. So this article argues that because of all these issues, the democracy in India has failed the migrant workers. So why does it matters? It matters because it is leading to demographic deficit. That is, mass deletion is equal to silent voter purge for of the poor, and it undermines universal adult franchise, weakens political inclusion of India's largest mobile workforce, and contradicts constitutional ethos of one person, one vote. Okay, so very important points here. Demographic deficit. Keyword. Next, so way forward should be provide portable voter identity similar to one nation, one ration card, which can result in one nation, one voter ID. Cross verification model between origin and destination roles. Follow Kerala model, that is regular migration surveys replicate in Bihar, UP, Odisha, which are high out migration states. Then migrant outreach. Panchayats and civil society bodies should facilitate re-registration drives. And Election Commission of India role is halt blanket deletions, use technology enabled portability such as geotagging, Aadhaar linked but privacy protected systems. Next is machine readable electoral rolls. Okay, so a very important topic, just because we discussed about migrant crisis, so I have covered this topic, that is machine readable electoral rolls. What are they? These are electoral rolls. Electoral roll is official list of eligible voters which is updated continuously, and this machine readable rolls are text based PDF or Excel formats that can be searched, indexed and analyzed by computers, which is unlike the current image PDFs which require manual scrutiny. Example is in Bengaluru's Mahadevapura, Congress spotted 11,965 duplicate entries, but only through laborious human effort. Because the PDF document is only text format, it becomes difficult for the computers to recognize it. If it is in PDF format or text format, the computer can easily identify all the topics or all the persons who have been duplicated. Just go to search bar and search a particular person's name. If the same person's name is repeated many times, then you can see that it is a duplicate document. But now if it is an image document, even if you search the name, it doesn't show the name image. So that is why we should move towards machine electoral rolls. The current practice is rolls are prepared by district officials using Aeronet, that is Election Commission's digital portal. EC provides them as printed lists or image PDFs on its websites. And next, India has 99 plus crore entities, and checking duplicates manually is almost impractical. Why the opposition demands machine readable rolls? Because it provides transparency, it provides efficiency, and also it acts as a precedent. That is, activist PG Butt earlier analyzed such rolls before EC stopped publishing them in 2018. So there is already a set precedent which can be very helpful. So why not follow this? Why not EC is following it then? And why EC persists? One is privacy concerns, because full names plus addresses accessible in bulk could be misused by foreign actors. Hence 2018 EC stopped uploading machine readable rolls. And Supreme Court position in 2018 Kamal Nath versus Election Commission position, it says that refused to compel EC to share text roll mode rolls. Observe that parties can convert PDFs into searchable form themselves using OCR. Okay, it is a simple issue. You can convert it into readable documents. Why do you need machine portable rolls? And operational consent is rolls split into lakhs of constituency parts. OCR conversion of 6+ crore pages costs around 33 crore, which is 40,000 per revision, and Google AI estimate, according to Google AI estimate. So it is going to cost 33 crore plus rupees in converting them to OCR. So instead of this, parties can do it by themselves. Can digital rolls spot fraud? Yes. How? Searchable rows make duplication detection very easy. But the risk is it can result in voter data misuse, profiling, or identity theft. And then the debate is transparency versus privacy. So for many, transparency should be provided higher privacy. For many, privacy should be provided higher privacy. We have to wait and see what the Election Commission is going to do. Next, previous pointers. For one topic was there, first pointer for today is saltwater crocodile. The context is Recent population survey by West Bengal Forest Department shows that population of saltwater crocodiles has increased in Sundarban Biosphere Reserves. A very good news. What is saltwater crocodiles? It is the largest living reptile in the world. Saltwater crocodile is the largest living reptile in the world. If you consider crocodiles, the largest crocodilian species is saltwater, and within the saltwater, the largest are found in coast of Australia. And after this is the Nile River crocodiles. And then comes gharials, which are found in India again. And then comes muggers. And then comes with the Nile rivers, there are also alligators are also very big. And after alligators, then comes caimans. Where are these caimans? These are exclusively found in Southern America. So these are some of the important crocodilian species, and also they have arranged them in the order of their size. Okay. Next, scientific name of saltwater crocodile is Crocodilus porus or porosus, also called estuarine crocodile, Indo-Pacific crocodile, sea crocodile, or just salty in Australia. Apex predator, it is hypercarnivorous and opportunistic feeder. The distribution is native to saltwater habitats and brackish wetlands. And the range is India's east coast to Southeast Asia, Northern Australia, and Micronesia. Large habitat is covered here. In India, mainly found in Sundarbans, Odisha, and Bhitarkanika, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Next, the features are size for males, it is up to 5 meter length, and 500 kgs of weight. In females, 3 meter length and 100 kg. And the coloration is dark greenish brown with a lighter underbelly camouflage, and the skin is thick and armored scales, and the behavior is solitary territorial. The conservation status, this is very important. In IUCN, it is least concern, and India listed under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, which provides highest protection. The threats for saltwater crocodile is mainly habitat loss because of shrinking mangroves, estuaries, and human crocodile conflict, and illegal hunting for skin as well. And also in certain areas they are also eaten, so that is also one more threat. And the conservation sites in India is mainly Bhitarkanika National Park of Odisha, which is world's largest nesting site for crocodiles, saltwater crocodiles. And then Sundarbans, which is also a key population hotspot, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Okay. Next, Pamba River or Pampa River. It is in news because in 2025, the center initiated steps to include Pamba River under National River Conservation Plan to control pollution and conserve river ecology. About the river, the length is around 176 kilometers, third longest river in Kerala after Periyar and Bharatapuzha. Basin area is around 2,235 square kilometers, entirely within Kerala. Origin in Pulachimalai Hill or Perumedu Plateau, Western Ghats. Termination, that is, it flows into westwards, joins Arabian Sea, branching into multiple channels. It is also very culturally and religiously significant river. It is also known as Dakshina Bhagirathi or Ganga of Kerala. Strongly associated with Sabarimala temple. The pilgrims take holy dip in the river before climbing the Sabarimala. And Triveni Sangam, which is a confluence of Pamba, Achankovil, and Manimala rivers. Next, the major tributaries are Kakkiyar, Azutar, Kakkadar, Kallar, Manimala, and Achokvel. The significance is it supports paddy cultivation, fisheries, drinking water needs of central Kerala. It provides hydropower in Kakki and Pamba projects, and also rich biodiversity due to Western Ghats ecosystem. So this is about Pamba River. So these are the articles which I wanted to discuss with you today. If you like the video, if you think you got something out of the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. This is like an appreciation for us. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.